Luke Getsy's a ringer, man. I was like, that whole first half, I was like, what on earth is this? What are we doing on offense? Like, this is more vanilla than what we even saw in the preseason. This is just run up the middle, screen pass, and then second half, Justin Fields makes a play out of nothing, and then it's like the offensive playbook just opened up. Like, I don't know why he needed to see Fields make some play to open it up, but it just changed everything when Fields made that big play to Pettis.
We've talked about it all season, or all off season, if you will say, because it's the first week of the season. But we'll talk about it all season as well. Backyard bullshit, plays that break down. Justin Fields is faster than you, and he could still make throws on the run. So why not? Like, both touchdowns, like, let's call a spade. Both touchdowns were on broken plays. Broken in every aspect. Broken blocking, broken coverage, like, just absolute ugly plays in terrible weather conditions that found a way to be better than the Niners on, and that was the difference in the game. Because, like you guys said, you go into the half down 10-0, and we're just sitting here like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, this is exactly what we dealt with all through Matt Nagy. We dealt with this through John Fox. Like, what are we doing here? Like, let's find a way to get some points. And then you talk about the play calls. They had no passes completed to a receiver or a tight end in the entire first half. Like, that is just disgusting football to watch. And of course, we'll be here for 17 games and we'll be here to watch it. But, like, they found a way with the adjustments in the second half. The defense, we talked about it all offseason as well. The defense was going to be the unit that carried this team. The defense kept them in the game, keeping the Niners only at 10 points at the half. And then you shut them out in the second half and you get a handful of turnovers. Like, I have no complaints. I could complain, but why the fuck would I? We're 1-0. Like, we're 1-0, and we are on to week 2, which is the Green Bay Packers, and those ball farters are playing right now.
Yeah. To touch on what you're talking about with broken coverages, broken plays, that second touchdown, that play design was gorgeous. He set it up the previous drive. The Niners didn't see it coming, and he called the right play that, like, it's like broken coverages don't just happen that often. You know, like on occasion you'll see like Kyler Gordon on the 40-yard pass that he gave up. That was a straight broken coverage, you know, where he thought he had help behind him. He didn't, and he just gave the guy a free release behind him, and then the guy is 40 yards. But on that red zone play, that second touchdown, they created that with how they set it up, how they got the 49ers just thought a different play was coming, and they called their coverage to that play. And I was still like, props to Getsy on that play. That was outstanding.
Dude, I don't know how you get that wide open with that Pettis one too. It's just like, obviously that one was like Fields just had to float that up, but he made that happen with his legs. You know, like Beaton said, like the backyard bullshit is like, you know, basically that's all the Bears had going for them, like up until that point, and then, or even that point, like, and then Getsy, you know, started kind of, like you said, you know, creating more avenues for things to happen and create some more blown coverage too. But like, that seemed more of like a backyard play right there with that one to Pettis. And it's like, all you had to do was just float it to him. And it's refreshing because, like, I don't know what the final numbers were on those guys, but Kmet had 0 catches when I looked. Mooney had 1 catch for 8 yards.
Hey, Kmet had 0 catches because I bet on him, so don't blame Cole. Okay, blame me.
Oh no, I'm not even entirely blaming either one of them, obviously.
Blame me.
My fantasy team is crying over Mooney, but
yeah, mine too, man. I got Mooney in a few, at least a couple fantasy squads, so it's not looking pretty for me there. But it's cool to me that I know they didn't have like a ton of passing yards today, obviously in these conditions, and you know how ugly the first half looked and all that. But the guys that scored the touchdowns, Dante Pettis and then St. Brown, the other St. Brown, the Notre Dame St. Brown. Well, dude, it's refreshing that, I had to get that shout in there. All 3 of my college teams died yesterday, so the Bears could live today.
College football is not a sport.
Yeah, it was just cool to see, man, that like the main production didn't even have to come from the two that everyone was expecting to get all the work, and they're not going to have any other weapons. Those guys made plays. So, if this continues, I like where this is heading.
You look at the numbers, Fields, 8 of 17, 121 yards on the ground. You had 37 carries for 99 yards. So you really only had 220 yards flat on offense, and you found a way to win a football game. So it's not about being flashy. It's not about, running up the score. We love the fantasy points and the prop bets to hit and all that shit. But the Bears found a way to win a football game against a team that most have considered already before we even played a snap, a playoff team. You have to be happy as one of us today, right?
Yeah. As far as the offensive stats go, more than the individual stats, and on our pregame, we talked about the stats that what we wanted to see as far as offensive stats go. And I said I wanted to see 2 red zone touchdowns, 4 drives of 50 yards or more, and 3 total touchdowns. Today, they were 2 for 2 in the red zone, so you check one of those off. They had 3 touchdowns, check 2 of those off. But they only had 2 drives of 50 yards or more. So that's a solid B as far as I'm concerned. I mean, especially once you factor in the weather, the getting 4 drives of 50 yards or more became tougher. But generally, I'm happy with their offensive production. Fields' individual stats, they're producing points, man. They were moving the ball in the second half there. As long as we don't see too many more first halves like that, it's exciting.